Hello again, everybody, and welcome to another segment of The Last Word. I'm the publisher of The Vegas Voice, Dan Roberts, and our job is to introduce you to all the wonderful people who have decided, for one reason or another, to run for public office. We have a very special guest today, and that's Alan Bigelow, and you're running for?
City Council in Ward 2, which is kind of the Summerlin area, Red Rock, a little bit of Sun City, down into the lakes.
And this is really the first time you're running for office.
It's actually the second.
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I ran out in Nye County for county commissioner in a field of 7, and I finished second. And I ended up serving the town afterwards on a volunteer basis on a couple of boards.
So let's do this. You have an extensive background about yourself. Give us a little bit of information about you, where you come from, what you do, et cetera, et cetera.
Well, I grew up here in Las Vegas. And back then, when we got here, my family came in 1963, so there's about 65,000 people here then. Yeah. Not a big town. Mm-hmm. And we had a couple different places where we lived, as many families did. My parents were divorced, and my mother moved to a trailer park over off of East Lake Mead Boulevard and around Pecos. There used to be 3 little trailer parks, so that's all been bulldozed by. My father went on to go to an apartment complex at 5 Points, and anybody that's familiar with 5 Points knows 5 Points is Fremont, Eastern, Charleston, and the Boulder High would all meet right in that corner. So he went back to school. He worked hard, and of course, I was living with my mother at the time. So, on the east side, it's not always the nicest neighborhoods, but it's, the kids were kids. We didn't know. Growing up, I went to one of the schools I remember, of course, is over there is R.J. Earl. Mm-hmm. And then I would hit El Dorado for a year, so shout out to the El Dorado kids. And then graduated at Valley High School when my father had actually worked his way up through the chain, and we bought a house over at Eastern in Warm Springs. So after that, I joined the Army, and after a very productive 24-year career, decided to retire. And it was a split service kind of thing. I did active Army in the National Guard. Along the way, I was able to pick up a lot of really just handy things, trades that I could learn, things that I could share with people, and went on after that and became a fireman, which I currently am. Okay. I hit 18 years this coming February. And then,
I mean, full of public service. With that background, with your skills, the fact that you ran previously in Nye County, the question I'm asking people is, why in the world would anybody get involved in politics and in public service right now? Because no matter how great you are, you're going to get somebody angry.
Yeah, and that's the thing. My biggest thing in all of this is you got to keep your word. When you make a promise, keep your word. And that's been a problem in Ward 2 lately. We were promised a solution to the Badlands golf course property dispute, I guess is the best way to describe it. And the council person said, you know what, with my leadership experience and my time as a legislature, I'm going to be able to solve this. It didn't happen. So it goes to court. In court, we just lost for $34 million. So right. if you got a checkbook handy.
Yeah, no, check, we'll split it. Yeah,
we'll split it. Right. There you go. We'll get it done. There's a solution. But it ended up, while it was in court, her statement was simple. If it comes back, I'll look at it. If it doesn't, I don't know. So she gave up. Mm-hmm. Leaders find solutions. Leaders don't find lawsuits. And so as we go through it, you're seeing different possibilities. I've already proposed just a really simple solution.
Well, that's my next question. And with the Badlands, it's so complicated, at least it is to the public. You got all these people who seem like they all hate each other. Forget the legalities. How do you fix it? How do you solve it?
Well, because it is in court, the solutions have to come through creative settlements or with the neighbors actually getting along and trying to work it out between the neighbors. Like I mentioned, I've already talked with one of the council persons or people, whatever the thing is there, and pitched that idea, and I was met with a very positive response. And hopefully, once I get into office, we'll be able to flesh that out even more. Because there are real solutions there. There are options. We spent between $5 and $10 million on this first lawsuit to lose.
Yeah.
So we're in it for almost $45 million.
Yeah, you're
right
in it
now.
right now. Yeah, it's easy to get in, harder to get out, isn't it?
Right, exactly right. And that affects all of us. That affects everything that we do. It affects, our emergency services. It affects our homeless situation. It affects the benefits that we can pay for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
It affects our senior services. I mean, what services do we cut when you lose a lawsuit for $34 million?
Well, something's going to have to
Something's
be
got
cut.
to be cut.
Right.
Either that or you got to find a really, really good solution to make sure that whole thing's covered.
That's called taxes, though.
Well, I've signed a no new tax pledge, and I'm not going to raise taxes. And that's something you can write a check to and take it to the bank because it isn't happening.
Okay. The other thing that I find surprising is that, as you mentioned, when you got here, Las Vegas was very tiny.
It was.
And it exploded, and it's still going to explode.
It is.
And a question that I'm always asked is, where are you going to get the water? Lake Mead disappearing.
The lake has been a tourist attraction and a big feature for Las Vegas for so long. It provided tons of jobs in the 30s and 40s as it was being built. And now we're facing a horrible crisis with it. People can't take their boats out there unless they have a four-wheel drive so they can go down the ramp and dig themselves out. One of the things that I've noticed, Las Vegas is the only city, the only community, metropolitan area that has a reclamation procedure.
Mm-hmm.
We are able to reclaim just about all of the water that is runoff back to Lake Mead. Nobody else on the Colorado River Authority or basin is doing that. So if we can get everybody on track to where they're reclaiming the runoff water, that's going to save the draw on the lake. If we save the draw on the lake, it's going to start refilling kind of slowly, but it'll get there. The biggest battle we have is just to get the rest of the communities to do it.
And the thing that I find interesting is, as a future councilman, you have to work with other people.
Right.
As opposed to if you had your own business, I can say to you, let me tell you how it's going to get done. Do you think you have just a character to get along with people as opposed to, let me tell you how it's going to get done?
And that's the biggest thing. You are there to connect people. You are there to make friends. You are there to work together. You're not there to get into fights. You're not in there to sue the mayor. You're not in there to sue the city. You're there to do a job. You're there to make sure the needs of the people are met. And it's very specifically outlined in the Las Vegas Charter on what we're supposed to do. So there's things, simple things. People talk about economic growth. Okay, well, what are we going to do for that? Well, there's businesses coming in. Those businesses need people to go to work for them. I've already been in touch with the people at the couple of the colleges here to provide specialized training for those people that are coming in because they have specific needs. One of them needs a group of people that can run a specifically designed laser cutter. Well, they can offer the training for it. It's really about getting out and talking to people, meeting the needs of the people, and then bringing it back and saying, hey, guys, this is what's going to benefit us. We can do it. Let's get it done.
Okay. And for our Vegas Voice readers, the so-called senior community, those that will watch the interview, see your picture in our magazine as we go forward, hopefully have you for another interview.
Yeah, absolutely.
Here's my main question. Why should seniors vote for you?
Well, the seniors in our community need a voice, and I'm pushing 60. So I'm kind of in that crowd now.
Yeah. You're in it. Over 50, you're in. No, you're in it, but go ahead.
Yeah, well, I still like Disneyland. So
I don't blame you. Yeah.
But the thing is you got to have somebody that's got the energy to do the job. I work a 24-hour shift at the fire department, and when I go home, I'm ready to go do something else. I have kids and grandkids here. I want to make sure their futures are taken care of. I want to make sure, one of the hot spots for me is our seniors that are in assisted living facilities. Some of them are being taken care of amazingly. It's like Club Med kind of thing for them.
Yeah.
Others, I consistently hear about and I see, and it makes my heart break that they're not being taken care of. I'd like to see that kind of thing go away. I'd like to be able to see the Southern Nevada Health District be able to inspect every facility and answer every complaint. The problem comes in is funding. Now, the city doesn't always fund Southern Nevada Health District because they're their own animal. But we can do things through code enforcement. We can do things through occupancy loads and things like that. So we can help the seniors. We can get out there and make sure the seniors are taken care of, whether you're at home or whether you're not. You know, we have outreach programs that are amazing. The people that run the outreach program here in Las Vegas,
Right.
overworked and understaffed and operating off of grants. And God bless them all because they're doing a great job. But ultimately, you know, we have to get involved. We have to know our neighbors. We have to be able to say, hey, you know, I haven't seen, you know, Joe or Mary or Sally for a couple of days. Let's go knock on their door.
Well, you know, and getting them known to you, you to them.
Mm-hmm.
If they want more information about you, about your campaign, they want to either volunteer or they want to contribute,
Mm-hmm.
how do they go about doing it?
That's really easy, actually, because my cell phone is on all of my information. So if you want to talk to me, it's right here.
Good.
702-427-5656. And the website is alanward2vegas.com. It's spelled ALANWARD, the number 2, and Vegas.com. Really easy.
And
Really easy.
again, we'd like to have you on again as
I'd love
the
to come back.
campaign gets closer and closer and the election. And we wish you the best of luck. Alan, thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having me. I really appreciate it.
And this is Dan Roberts for The Last Word saying we'll see you again next time. Thank you, Alan.
Thanks. That's great.